Hey, I want to talk to you today about something incredibly important, and that is the 5 secrets, or when I say five, I'm going to give you a fifth one, but it's really the 4 secrets that leaders use before they start their year in January. When I say secrets, I'm talking about things that the best leaders do to prepare for the new year. Because here's what you don't want to do: you don't want to wait till January and start guessing what your year is going to be like. You want to plan with clarity, consistency, and commitment to what you need to do to win in 2026. So we're at the end of a year. There's a lot of holiday parties that are happening. People are starting to slow down. They're thinking about the time that they're going to take off, and all of those things are important. But what's more important is for you to start thinking about what you need to know now that will help you to be ready next year. What do you need to know now that will help you to be successful next year? So, in short, what I'm talking about is what I call strategic intelligence, or the way I like to refer to it is Illmatic Intelligence. Now, everybody might know that I'm a big hip hop head, and one of my favorite artists is Nas. Nas's first album is called Illmatic. Now, most people don't know what the word Illmatic means, but if you understand Nas and you understand the origins of his entry into the music industry, you would know the word Illmatic is a synonym for the ultimate. The ultimate, or ultimate is the word. So Illmatic means ultimate. So my first question for you: do you have Illmatic intelligence in your workplace? Because if you don't have Illmatic intelligence in your workplace, that's why you're not ready for 2026 now, because you don't know what's really going on. Now, what am I talking about, and why am I talking about what do you need to be knowing that's going on? I'm telling you right now that you need to be personally prepared for the next year. See, I'm not talking to every executive. I'm only talking to the elite executives, the ones who want to win in 2026. Like, yeah, you hit all your KPIs and you having a good year. You feel like you can pat yourself on the back. But I want you to know that everything ain't perfect. And even if it appears perfect, in a week's time, it can go from being perfect to being awful. That you can be from starting quarterback to riding the bench. You can be from being at the center of attention to on the outside looking in. You can go from being the guy who was always in the meeting to you the one who shows up after the meeting because they had the meeting beforehand and didn't tell you about it. So I don't want you to be that type of executive. I want you to be prepared. So today we're going to talk about the 4 secrets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 secrets that elite leaders use to get a head start on their teams and their organization so they can win the next year. And when I say elite secrets, I'm saying that these are not esoteric things that I won't share with you. I'm going to share them with you and give it to you as plain as I can give it. But the reason why they're secrets is because most leaders don't use them. They seem to be secrets, but they don't use them. So they walk into the year blind as a bat, confused around what's going on. They're guessing what their role is going to be in the organization for the next year. And I don't want you guessing. I want you to be intentional, not just for your organization, but I want you to be intentional for the goals that you have set for yourself. What do you want next year? And so I put all of these secrets together in a document, and I'm going to show you what that document looks like. That document is called the Year-End Blueprint for Mission-Driven Executives. Now, this document is not for everybody. It's only for mission-driven executives. So if you're not mission-driven, if you're money-driven, it ain't for you. If you're, personal success only driven, this ain't for you. This is for leaders who have a larger mission than themselves. That's why I put it into a document and a blueprint. Now, I'm going to give you a chance to get a copy of this blueprint because this is a long document. And I'm going to skip through the first few pages of this document, and I'm going to go right to page 7 because that's where Illmatic Intelligence lives. Those 4 secrets that leaders use to get a start on a new year. When I say leaders, I'm talking about elite leaders, okay? So let me give you the first one. This is the first one, is that leaders focus on reading organizational energy, not just the org chart. When I say organizational energy, every organization is a living, breathing entity. The org chart might be static year to year or quarter to quarter, but every day, momentum is rising, momentum is falling. Leaders are rising, leaders are falling. So the first secret is you need to read the room, read the organization. Where is the momentum going inside your organization? Is it going to a project? Is it going to a team? Is it going to a process? Is it going to an individual? Who is gaining momentum in your organization? But then conversely, who in your organization is losing momentum? Why is it important for you to know who's gaining momentum, who's losing momentum? What projects are gaining momentum? What projects are losing momentum? Because you don't want to be stuck to the wrong thing, the wrong person, the wrong place, or the wrong thing. And when I say stuck, you might not be able to control which area of the organization you have supervision or that you are on a leadership team, but you need to be able to understand where the momentum is going and where it's not, and make a strategic decision. Do you have the ability to turn it around? Do you want to be the leader who turns it around? Do you want to invest your time, your talent, and your attention to trying to fix something that's a challenge? And will that be great in the eyes of the organization? Or if you throw your energy behind that, are you dragging yourself to the bottom of the org chart, the non-visible org chart? You got to think about that. So you got to think about, where is the momentum in my organization? I want you to write it down. Where is the momentum happening for me as a leader? Where is it happening for my organization? And are those two things aligned? Now, I give you a space to write that down in the blueprint for mission-driven executives. And I'll come back and show you what the page looks like in a second. So that's the first thing, is you need to read the org chart. You need to read the organizational energy, not just the org chart. Don't just read the org chart, read the energy. Where is the heat map going in the organization? Who's got momentum? Who's got the ear of the CEO at present? Who's winning? And are you on that winning team? That's the first secret, is to read organizational energy. Here's the second secret that elite leaders use before the year begins. That you got to do this at the end of the year, not at the beginning of the year. Here's the second secret that people use, is you got to protect your leadership brand before the year ends. Now, when I say protect your leadership brand, that every leader comes into an organization with a brand. But over the year, you can get recharacterized by what you do or what you don't do, what other people say about you. So I think I shared this with you last week. What's the story that people are telling about you? What is the narrative that people are saying about who you are, how you're showing up for the organization, what's happening to you and what is not happening to you? How are people labeling you or not labeling you? And so when you understand how you're being labeled, are you good with that? Are you okay with that? Are you willing to accept that? Or are you the leader that wants to change that? You got to be the leader who wants to change their brand if you're being labeled in the wrong way. Or if your brand is in a good space, how do you double down on what a successful brand looks like in your organization? You got to protect your brand at all costs. You have a leadership brand. So what are people saying about you when you're not in the room? So an elite leader strategically thinks about how they want to show up in the next year while they're in their current year. What do you want to be defined by? Is it a success? Is it a project? Is it people? Is it how you treat others? Is it the value that you add to the team? Is it the things that you talk about in the executive team meeting? You got to think about how you're going to protect your brand in the next year. If you're not thinking about it, you're going to get labeled. in the beginning of the year, somebody who is either on it or somebody who is off it. But you can control that narrative by what you do. That's the second secret that elite leaders use before January. Now, here's the third thing that leaders do is that they map out high value partnerships. Now, when I say high value partnerships, here's what I want you to understand, that every organization, there's some people that you need to be partnered with. Like, you can't win alone. Like, Superman needs the Justice League. Captain America needs the Avengers. I don't care how good you think you are. You need allies. You need high value partnerships. So are you spending any time thinking about who are the leaders that I need to be connected to? What am I going to strategically do to position myself to build high value partnerships internal to my organization, or maybe even external in the community? Who do you need to be around? Who do you need to be in alignment with? You need to map them out right now. I'm going to give you a simple question that you should ask. Write it down. I want you to write it down. Who are the 3 people that I need to spend more time with next year? Who are the 3 people that I need to get closer to next year? Who are the 3 people I need more alignment with next year? And who are 3 people that I don't know at all right now that I need to know by the end of next year? I want you to write those things down. I want you to be clear about the people that you need to be in partnership with. That's the third secret, is to map out who you need to know, be closer to, be aligned with, be connected to, who you need to add value to. You got to focus on that now. That is what elite leaders do. Now, here's the fourth thing. This is really the one that I want to spend a little bit of time with. And that is, elite leaders map out their unique ability and how they can use that unique ability to help their organization. So I want to ask you again, who are the places, or when I say places, where are the places in the organization where you can use your unique ability? Like, do you know what your unique ability is? Like, what's a gap in your organization that only you can fill? What's a gap in your organization that only you can fill? That nobody else has this skill set, this expertise, this insight, this background, this pedigree, this perspective. Like, what is your superpower? What can you do that nobody else can do? What's your differentiator? Now, a lot of people may not be paying attention to what their differentiator is, but I'm trying to get you to pay attention to what you can do that nobody else can do. What can you do that nobody else can do? It's like, if you can figure out your superpower, that's how you become a hero. But if you and 20 other people can do the same thing, why should they choose you over those other 19? If you can't answer that question, you don't know your unique ability. So you got to think about what gaps, and you got to identify your ability, but also what gaps that you can fill that nobody else can fill. So I'll give you an example. I worked with an organization many years ago. It was a healthcare system. They were in Texas, okay? And they happened to be in a part of town that they did not have a lot of knowledge around the broader community. There was a growing Hispanic community in this part of town. So it was literally changing how their organization needed to work. And they had one Hispanic gentleman in leadership who was from that community. And so he used his unique ability of knowing his community better than anybody else to help the leadership of the organization understand the valuable opportunities that existed in that community. And when they did, they began to capture all of that market share from a competing healthcare organization. He used his unique ability. I saw the same thing in an organization in Ohio where there was a growing Muslim population, or when I say Muslim, their faith was Muslim, but they came from Egypt. Like a company was a manufacturing facility that sold to an Egyptian company that brought 100 people there to do jobs in this factory. It was a great business. They were growing. And so more and more Egyptian families moved in the community. Most of them were practicing Muslims. And this organization had no context for why these people were now coming to seek care there, and that they had to orient their system. But they had a leader inside whose role was focused on cultural competency of care. And he used his expertise around how to deliver care to people of a different faith to help this organization gain a strategic advantage. So I'm giving you that to say, what are the gaps that you can fill, that you are uniquely predisposed to fill, that nobody else can fill? That's what you need to think about. Now, let me show you inside of this blueprint a little bit what I'm talking about. It's a strategic playbook. Let me just show you right here. So this is a strategic playbook for senior executives who design the next year before it starts. This is a end of the year document, not a document to use next year, but you could use it next year. But I don't want you to wait. I want you to get a head start. So if you stick around for one more minute, I'm going to tell you how you can get a copy of this document. So let me move to what I call Illmatic Intelligence. This is, again, the questions that I laid out for you, and I'm going to give it to you so you can see it right on the screen. You can write these down, or if you want a copy of the blueprint, you should send me a direct message on this platform. You should send me a direct message, like jump in my DMs, send me a direct message, and I will give you this PDF. But it ain't for everybody. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not putting it on my website. I'm not, making it available for everybody, because everybody ain't ready for this level of leadership. But if you are, send me a direct message and I'll send it to you. So again, here are the 4, what I call secrets that leaders use to prepare for the next year. They're right on the screen. It's called Organizational Energy Scan. And the question is, where is momentum rising for me and where is it fading? You want to think about that inside the organization. A second part of it is thinking about where is momentum rising in the organization and where is it fading? And are you in the midst of the rise? Or are you in the midst of the fade? You don't want to be in the midst of the fade. Nobody wants to get faded. Faded means you out the game. You've been knocked down. You laid out. You don't want to be faded. You want to be rising with the momentum of the organization. So you need to know what your momentum is. Number 2, strategic ways that elite leaders prepare for the new year start is you got to build your leadership brand. What behaviors reinforce who you want to be next year? Think about that. What do you want people to see you as? What do they see you right now? Do you know where they see you right now? And are you preparing yourself to be seen differently in the organization? If you're not, you need this year-end blueprint for mission-driven executives. Now, number 3, I already told you about high-value relationships. You need to map them out. Name the 3 relationships that will elevate your leadership. 3 people who you need to be connected to, that you need to spend more time with next year, that you need to learn from, that you need to grow from. Maybe these are 3 people that you need to serve more, because by serving them, they will reciprocate and serve you. You need to answer the question, who are the 3 people that you need to be closer connected to? That's the 3rd secret. And the 4th secret, what gaps am I uniquely positioned to fill? Where is your leadership needed the most? Those are the 4 parts of Illmatic Intelligence. Again, this is just one of the sections inside my blueprint. As you can see right there on the screen, you can see that the blueprint is in multiple parts, because this is part 3. Part 1 and 2 are in there, but then you got part 4, 5, and 6, and what I call the mission-driven executive year-end blueprint. It's called a blueprint. It's a blueprint for you to be successful. So here's what I want to close with. I want to tell you a few things before I close. And I wrote them down just to make sure that I don't lose you. And I want to make sure I say these words exactly as I wrote them down as I was thinking about this. That if you want to be an executive that everybody admires, that leads with impact, that leaves a legacy, that has the power and the influence to shape culture inside the organization and allow you to be rewarded the way you feel like you deserve to be rewarded, then what you need to do more than anything else is you cannot wait to plan. You have to position yourself. Don't plan, position. How are you strategically moving yourself around on the chessboard so that you're in position to win? The second thing is you don't need to anticipate what's going to happen next year. You need to be the architect of what happens next year. An architect is a designer. You have to design your year long before the year starts. And you roughly got 2 weeks to design your year. And if you want this year-end blueprint for mission-driven executives, make sure you send me a direct message. You can even email me at info@antongunn.com. You may not be one of those kind of people who want to send a direct message, but I'm encouraging you to do so because it's going to be quicker if I do it that way. If you send me a bunch of emails, it's going to take me a while to get back to you. But if you want to, you can go to info@antongunn.com. In the subject line, type, I want the blueprint. Or you can just type the words blueprint, and I'll know what you mean. Ask for the blueprint, send me a direct message, and I'm going to help you design your year. Be the architect. Be the architect and position yourself for greatness, for success, so you can get the money, power, and the respect that you deserve in the workplace. I want to thank you for watching. See y'all next week for another episode of Leadership Live. Everybody have a fantastic day.